Welcome to another episode of Saturday Talk Vlog Reactions. That's me, your girl. I'm so excited about this one. Oh my goodness, you guys, thank you for all the positivity, all the love, all the subscriptions, all the likes, all the comments. I appreciate you. So to treat you and say thank you, today I decided to bring two of my most favorite people in the world. Can I introduce you to them? It's just my boobies. Let's get into the story. Oh my goodness. But first of all, why is it that black women, our skin here is different from our skin here? Especially as chubby people, it ends up looking very offensive even if we're trying not to. It looks very vulgar, but that's just the way we are. But you know what? This is not about me today. It's about the submission for the day. Now, this person actually is doing this as a follow-up to another story that we shared earlier. So it's a very similar situation, and she wants adult, mature opinions only. My people, my people, my people. The key word is mature and adult. Please, are we ready to get into this Saturday Talk vlog reaction? Let's go. Saturday Talk vlog reactions. Dun, 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 dun. Dear mother, please keep me anonymous. You know I got you, girl. You know I got you. Read for me some my story. The way she says the story, you might think it's like a small thing. Huh? I always tell you, grab your tea, grab your beverages, grab anything, grab somebody, because this is about to get juicy. My husband and I got married 5 years ago. He is the firstborn and the rest of his siblings are women. When we started dating, his family was cool with me. When things got serious, my husband took time to introduce me to his family, including his mother. Things were just okay. Even when his family came home to mine, they were treated with respect. I feel like, well, I've read it, but I know like when somebody starts a story like this, they're definitely setting us up for something. They're setting us up for something juicier. So, I don't know. I suffered a horrible breakup when I was younger. It was difficult for me to move on because I had dated the guy for almost 7 years until I found out that he cheated on me with a friend. 7 years is a medical degree, girl. 7 years people are learning about surgery. That's a lot of time to invest in somebody. I feel sorry for you. But when you're in a relationship, you should always ask where it is going so that they do not tell you, what are we? We are the world. I hope that no one out there is just dating somebody for 7 years and they are not having the honest discussion. You know what I always say? After God, and you know what I always say? Fear God. You know what I always say? Fear God. And after God, fear tailors. And after tailors, who do you fear? Allah. At the time, I discovered I was pregnant, but I lost the child when I was 5 weeks pregnant due to complications with my blood pressure. I'm sorry about that, girl. Because I was not showing that much, not many people in my family actually knew that I was pregnant. Only my mom, aunt, and an older cousin. I was advised not to tell anyone since the pregnancy was too small. See, that's the thing with our African homes and the way we go around conversations about pregnancy or miscarriages or stillbirths or, you know, all those births. It's like we're still being shamed as women to actually talk about what we've gone through, to mention our ordeals, and to actually come to the terms that we've actually lost something that was growing in us. It's so unfair that we're still being silenced and people are not being given the opportunity to actually share what they're going through so that they can actually find healing. I feel like that's another syllabus we need to revise. It's our body, it's our choices, and it's so unfair that even just matters of fertility or infertility, they're still being kept like hush secrets. Like if you talk about it, you're a bad person. It irritates me. When I met my current husband, I was really not in the mood to have a serious relationship. But you just know how these things are. Girl, I don't know how these things are. 1 minute you're playing hard to get and the next minute you're entering a marriage. Girl, I don't know what that means. I've never ever played hard to get and got into a marriage. I've played hard to get, I haven't entered a marriage. I've played easy to get, I haven't entered a marriage. I've not played at all, I haven't entered a marriage. These things, they have honors. They have honors, you guys. You know what I'm talking about? Some of these things have honors because some of us, we've tried the Proverbs 31 route. We've tried cooking. We have tried sweeping. We've tried laundry. We've tried listening. We've tried being independent and firm and showing that we can own our own baggage. Nothing. Zero. Not even a spiritual tie. I told him about my past and how I was once pregnant but miscarried, and he was very supportive. After we got married, I had a discussion with my husband and we decided that we should start trying for a child. I was 32 when we got married, so I wanted to make sure that we have enough time to actually plan for a child or two because I was afraid of further complications. Good on you, girl. We tried for over a year, but nothing happened. By the second year, we were still childless. I did not think much into this because I figured it was probably going to take some time. I was worried that it may have something to do with the miscarriage I had suffered back then. So I went for tests and made appointments with my gynae, who told me that all was well with me. Red flag number one. Red flag number one. You and your mans are in a marriage, but you went to the hospital alone. Why? You are a unit, especially when it comes to things that actually affect your fertility. And because you're trying for a child, this is not something you should do on your own. They said it would probably happen over time, and the best thing would be for me to bring my husband in for tests as well. I told him about the hospital and what was discussed, and he promised to go on his own. Red flag number two. Why is your man going on his own? I did not wish to push the matter further, which assured me that he would go. I once asked him, and all he said was that the doctor said he was okay and that we should just keep trying. I have also suggested the IVF clinic, but he refused and claimed that it was not necessary. Your husband is going to the hospital on his own. In the previous text, it says that the doctor said that you should bring him in as well. Bring him in, meaning go back together. So they can even test you together, who knows? And then you suggest the IVF clinic and he does not go. Or he's scared. You know, the thing about Zambians is that we're afraid of the IVF clinic because sometimes we feel that going to such a place is like being a failure. But it's the same as all types of hospitals that are specialized for different ailments in the human body. For instance, if you break your bone, you can go to an orthopedic doctor. You're just not going to a general practitioner. You know, if you have problems with your prostate, you go to another kind of doctor. You are not failing. It's just that there's some times where people actually have better opinions on what you're going through. They have specialized services. So if you're going to the IVF clinic and you need help, it doesn't mean that you have failed. It just means that you need an extra hand to figure out what's going on, and that can actually give you the right plan for you. It does not mean that you have failed. It is just a fertility clinic. There are options that you might not even be aware of that would be provided to you. So please, guys, if you're going through fertility problems, you want to find out more about your reproductive system and whether you're ready to have children or how it's just looking down there, just go to the clinic. Go to the IVF clinic and find out what they have to offer. Do not make it seem like it's such a horrible place, please. Anyway, during this time, my in-laws started making subtle hints every time we would visit. They would say things like, my husband's sister's kids are growing up and it would be nice for them to have playmates. Or they would hint at us getting a bigger house in case we get other guests along the way. They would make small jabs, and as time went on, they became more forthcoming with their comments. My husband being an only male child means that our child is the only one to carry the family name. Girl, that man has got sisters. A lot of people are carrying that family name. This thing of the male child has to produce an heir. You guys, that's why people get depressed and pissed off, because you're having girl after girl after girl after girl. But then now this one, they don't even have a child at all. So all of a sudden, it's them to blame. This man was not born an only child, you guys. His bloodline is not ending with him. There are other people. Vaso. I'm very close with my husband's cousin, and one day she asked me what plans I had for having a child and whether she could connect me to someone who could help me have a child. She mentioned one of those herbalist doctors who she said a friend went to and was later successful and conceived. I was not really for the idea because I do not believe in such things. It was after I told her this that she came clean and told me that the so-called doctor also helps women who had done abortions and ensures that the spirit of the children crosses over to the other side. I was so shocked to hear her say that, and she confessed that my husband had told people in the family that I was not getting pregnant because of the abortion that I had when I was younger. I was in so much shock hearing such, especially that my husband took something so personal that happened to me and made an excuse out of it. I did not confront her but save my energy for my husband. I did not want to tell her that my husband had lied. Girl, this man took your personal story, something that did not even involve him. You were not even in a relationship. He probably did not even know you at the time, and used it as an excuse to get his own family off his back. What other lengths can this man go to? That's another red flag. I confronted him about it when I got home. At first, he tried to deny it and made it seem that I was making a big deal out of something that was said in passing, and that no one in his family took it seriously. I was hurt because I know this may not have landed lightly with my in-laws. He apologized for what he said and I let it go. Girl, you are not Elsa. Stop letting things go. My heart was still so heavy, and a part of me started to blame myself for what happened. See, now he's bringing all this pain that you went through many years ago, bringing it back on the surface, and now you're blaming yourself over something that you had no control over. Girl, I started receiving so much pressure from my in-laws, his mother and his sisters. It's almost as though they changed for me in the middle of the night. I would feel the tension every time we attended an event. It was like a Nigerian movie with Patience Ozoko being my mother-in-law. The world's worst mother-in-law. Patience. Sometimes when I'd post things online, they'll just tag each other and say nothing. They would view my status but not bother talking to me. I knew that it was because we had no children. It started getting to the point where they would tell me things like I need to go for prayers and confess. The audacity. I need to visit a herbalist and hopefully this would help me with my condition. I faced so much backlash that at one point they even made a meeting with my family trying to figure out why I was still not giving them a child. Luckily for me, my family just told them that it was not right for them to discuss such matters and get involved in someone's home. As if they're the ones who are sleeping with you. As someone moderately educated, I knew that the problem was not with me, and I was grateful to God that I had fallen pregnant back then because it was proof that I could bear children. However, I was advised by an aunt to also go see a herbalist, and she said she may also help me with our predicament. I went to this man in Kanyama, where I was told to buy an ointment, that word, chizungu. I went to this man in Kanyama where I was told to buy an ointment worth 2,000 kwacha, and that I should be mixing this ointment in my bath water and washing my private parts and stomach with it. I was also given something to put in my tea and drink every night before bed and after we have sex. You go there, you buy your thing, you put in water every day, you bath, you wash your private areas, you drink a whole cup of tea before bed, and then you do the deed, you drink another cup of tea. Girl, tea without gossip. Mother, one day my husband was away on a work trip. I found papers in his car that had doctor's appointments where he did blood tests, a semen analysis, and many other tests that I could not understand. I knew then that he had actually gone for tests and he already knew what the problem was. These were papers for over a year ago. You found these in his car. He has been lying. He has not been saying the truth. He has been deceptive. I was so angry with him for this and embarrassed that he let me take the blame all this time. By that time, I was in week 3 of my treatment. I was bathing things I did not know and drinking potions that went beyond my religious teachings. I felt like a fool for going through such excruciating measures. I felt like a fool. Chongo. I felt like a fool for going through excruciating measures and for not being open to his family about what is happening. This is not an easy topic to discuss and very sensitive. I felt like a fool for going through excruciating measures and for not being open to his family about what is happening. This is not an easy topic to discuss and very sensitive. I don't know how I can even begin to say that the problem may be him and not me. I've not approached my husband or asked him about the tests. I'm so angry that all the blame has been left on me. The other week, my aunt asked me about the portions and I was too scared to tell her the truth. I'm just sitting on this secret and waiting to confront him. Leaving is an option on the table, but I would still like to hear his side of the story and corner him. If I stay silent, I see this escalating into something bigger and all the blame will still fall on me. What should I do? Please, mature advice only. When I started this series, all I wanted were fun, lovey-dovey stories. But you guys keep on sending me stuff that is messing with my head. I think, let's start the discussion from here. Girl, your husband knows exactly what's happening. Your husband knows what's wrong with him because he went to the hospital. Knowing men, he probably took like 2 other consultations. Maybe he's been to different hospitals, he just hasn't told you. Why he is failing to communicate, I don't know. But one of the reasons would be probably that maybe he would feel less than a man if he felt that the problem was coming from him. The problem that I have with this situation is that he decided also to digress from the actual problem, and he decided to get your experience being pregnant and twist it into making it seem that you had an abortion, so your family thinks that you are the one with the problem. It was easier for him to say that you went through an abortion so that they cannot corner him. Then they can make it look like you are the bad guy. For me, I find this very, very bad because I feel that he has sacrificed your own comfortability in this marriage to make himself look good. And what other heights can he go through to hide this secret? The fact that he lied about your abortion means that he actually knows what is wrong with him, and he is not saying the truth because he knows that the truth probably involves him. You are not wrong with the way you're feeling. You are not wrong feeling deceived because it is a deception. People think that deception is only being cheated on, but it's also emotional deception. You know, there are times in which our partners can manipulate certain situations and make us feel like we are doing the wrong thing or whatever is going on is our fault. That's gaslighting, and it's very unfair that he did that. It's very unfair for your in-laws in this time of age also to be pushing you to have a child because it takes two to make the ring go round. It's not fair for them to be pushing you and making you feel worthless, especially since when you started the story, you even said they used to welcome you. These people are just snakes. These people. You know what? They all start well, and then in the end, just something happens, and then boom, all of a sudden, you are at fault. I feel that you need to have the conversation with your husband. You need to have a confrontation with him. But the best thing to do right now is sit him down and tell him that we need to go to the hospital together. You need to both hear the results. You need to hear what tests you're supposed to do. You need to find out what's wrong, if it can be corrected, and what the next step can be. Together, but really, as a unit, do not go alone. Because if you're both trying to have children, you should not be the one who is bathing ointments, you're not the one who's drinking tea. I hope that shit is not bitter. Sorry, I hope that stuff is not bitter. I hope you're not the only one who is going through all this on your own to rectify a problem that might not be yours. That is just going to get a mental toll on you. And to make it worse, it's going to even make it much more difficult conceiving because you're just stressed. And I hope that your blood pressure was actually treated or taken care of. I feel that You have to be honest, at least with your family, so that they can support you. Because I see a situation where one day this thing is going to blow up, and the next thing they're going to bring out the abortion and say that you deceived them when you got into a marriage, even when you knew you had an abortion that would have probably left you with medical conditions, which is not true, because you did say that you had a miscarriage, and I'm pretty sure you went to the hospital where you were treated and they took care of you, they cleaned you up properly, and for you to go to the gynae and the gynae told you that everything is well, it means that everything is well. The problem is not with you. The problem is your man's, girl. And if he keeps on opening his mouth and sharing things about your marriage to his relatives, they'll just despise and hate you more. Maybe that is his end goal, to make you feel so despised and hated by the family that you live. Who knows? Those are options that can happen. So for me, I feel like the best thing you have to do is confront this man. You better find out what's going on down there. You better make sure that his soldiers are working, and the only way you can do that is by going to the hospital. Do not take these issues lightly. Go to the hospital, go for consultations, go to the IVF clinic if you have to. Just find out what's going on as a unit. Time is ticking. Literally, time is ticking. And also, if the problem is him, let him then now start taking the initiative of actually going for treatment or finding out what can be done, so that at the end of the day, the blame is just not left on you. That's the truth. I hope that this situation clears out. I hope that you and your husband reach a better place. I hope that you have the necessary communication and discuss things. And please, everybody out there, stop asking people who are married when they're going to have children. You don't even know what they're going through. You don't know what they have been through. You don't know what problems they are going through in their homes. You don't know what they are bathing every night. You don't know what they're drinking in their tea, just to try and get that child. Let us show a bit of empathy, a bit of kindness, and a bit of support. At the end of the day, it's her body, her choice. Whatever is happening to her should not be an entire family's business, as if they're the ones that sleep with her. They are not the ones that even sleep with you. Girl, if nobody in that house has ever... If nobody in that house has ever made you get an orgasm, what happens to you should be none of their business. Just stay strong. And you know, the worst thing is that if indeed it's their child who has a problem, you're going to be validated. You're going to get validation. You're going to look at them, look down in shame. But Bantuaso, they are still the most stubborn people. They'll just find another problem. So if I were you, girl, have that discussion with your husband and make sure that he gets treated. And thank you so much to everybody who has been taking part in these conversations. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and leave everything below. Until the next episode of Saturday Talk Vlog Reactions, I got you. Bye.